Hey, what's up? This is Joe. In this video, I load up my bike and head further into the mountains of Virginia. Camping, cooking, riding some of the best roads in the state, and seeing how my shoulder holds up on a longer ride as I try my best to work my way back into full-time motorcycle vagabond life. All right, so I'm just getting ready for my next test, which is going to be a little bit longer of a trip than I took last time. Basically just kind of testing the waters and seeing how I hold up for longer distances on the bike. I had sort of hoped to already be back on the road at this point. The shoulder's still just not quite there yet, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, tentatively the plan is to scoot around and go to a few different places, but you know, I might just find somewhere cool and hole up there and camp for a couple of days. So that's it. Basically, yesterday I filled up my tires, adjusted my chain, which was getting pretty loose. From my current position in the southwest corner of Virginia, I headed north about 2.5 hours toward the George Washington National Forest. When I spotted this bizarre antique store beside the highway, I just had to stop and investigate. Much like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, I suddenly got the feeling I wasn't in Kansas anymore. That is one hell of a saw blade. Unfortunately, already sold. Darn it. I like stopping at kind of crazy, kooky stuff like this. Started out on a smaller highway, moved to the interstate, and now getting back on another smaller highway. I'm just gonna ride this, probably up to the town of Buena Vista, and then start looking for the spot that I know about, which is like a free campground. Wow, all right. I just looked over and saw this suspension bridge. I guess it's going over the Roanoke River, maybe? This is cool. Totally solid. Well, pretty much solid. When I reached the town of Buena Vista, I took a right onto the Lexington Turnpike, one hell of a gnarly twisting ride up to the top of a mountain and then back down the other side. After riding under the Blue Ridge Parkway crossing, I began descending the mountain and headed toward a free camp I'd discovered last fall. I love that road coming down that mountain, man. Sun's been shining and it's just about the perfect temperature to where if you're sitting in the full sun with your jacket on, like at a stoplight or something, you're gonna feel way too hot. But then once you get going, you got this great cool breeze. So I'm just gonna kind of look around. This place is totally free. I think I'm in the George Washington National Forest at this point. And last time I was here, I stayed over here. I was over in here somewhere, and it was the last trip I went on before I headed overseas, and it was well below freezing. And it was way too damn cold last time. Whoa, look at that heron. Yeah, again, each of these spots has its own advantages and disadvantages. This one is just beautiful. It's got lots of shade, and it's right next to the creek, and it's flat. All right, before I ponder this situation too far, I need some coffee. Let's see, I rode about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours maybe. I'm looking for a good flat spot where I got places to tie off my tarp. It's not supposed to rain, but the weather in these mountains is very unpredictable. Gotta tell you, I've been nothing but impressed with this Eno tarp. I think it's actually designed to go over top of like a hammock type of deal. I think they're pretty pricey. Typically, I would never buy something this expensive, but actually my friend Zach hooked me up with this. You got all those anchor points. You got the line that's attached to it right there. So unofficial endorsement of this tarp. It's awesome. All right, now it's time to jump in the creek. I've got a feeling this is gonna suck, but there's just no way around it. What I've noticed is that jumping in really cold streams like this is really good for joint pain in ways that even ice can't even touch, you know, because the cold totally envelops that joint along with the rest of your body. You just feel like $1 million getting out of it. I hate doing it, actually. It's not my favorite thing. You got to do what you got to do sometimes. Yeah, this is going to be one of those that takes me a few attempts. It's pretty damn cold. I got to tell you, that's really getting a lot easier now. I've been doing it a couple of times a week, at least twice a week. I wouldn't do it if I didn't feel like there was a payoff, so I definitely feel refreshed. All right, now I'm going to try this little portable practice amplifier I got from my little travel guitar. Basically, in situations like this, I can't really even hear that thing because the creek is so loud. So this was like 27 bucks on Amazon. I wasn't very happy with the results playing out of the Bluetooth off the phone as a backing track because the guitar is way louder, even with the phone volume turned all the way up. So it's got that going against it, but it's 27 bucks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'd give it a $27 grade. I'd pay about 27 bucks for it. There's a company that makes like a really nice practice amp that's like 150 bucks and is about that size. I mean, to justify the sound quality for 150 bucks for something that I'm going to be throwing around in all kinds of different humidity and weather, it's going to be sitting in my saddlebag. I'd rather pay the 27 bucks, honestly. All right, so now I'm going to see about cooking up a steak. Yeah. I like this Kinder's Prime steak. I'm kind of getting spoiled on it. Oh, yeah. You can sort of tell by how the oil dissipates how level your pan is. I sort of do like that. I find that sort of slowly introducing the steak to the pan makes it not stick as bad. All right, nice and crispy on that side. Almost borderline crispier than I like it. It's a little burned. It's actually a new tank of fuel, and I noticed this stove just gets exponentially hotter with a new tank. All right, I think that's close enough. Now I'm going to go get some of that creek water and sort of boil all the burn stuff off the pan. All right, time to eat. Boy, I'm hungry. It's a little later than I usually eat. About 6:30 right now. That was close. That Kinder steak seasoning with the garlic is an awesome combination. But every time I use it, it does tend to leave a lot of like burned crud in the bottom of the pan. I think probably that Kinder stuff is better if you're grilling the steak as opposed to cooking it in a pan. Cloudy and overcast this morning. This turned out to be kind of a weird spot, actually. People coming in at like 2 in the morning and honking their horns and being loud and stuff like that. So I was talking to one of the guys over there. He said there were a bunch of tweakers out here. He ended up missing some stuff out of his camp or whatever, and then they took off. So I think what I'm going to do is probably pack up this whole operation. I got to head into town and do some work on a video. So I don't really trust any of this stuff. If I leave it up here, it might not be here when I get back. I might end up coming back to this spot later tonight, or I might look for somewhere else. Who knows? But unfortunately, that's one of the disadvantages of a free camp like this. Sometimes they attract people that you don't really want to be camping around, or at least leave your stuff set up around, you know. I think a lot of people kind of have this fantasy in their head of, yeah, I'm going to load everything on my bike and take off and just live a really simple life, and life's just going to be great all the time. You know, the grass is greener on the other side. In my experience, what I've noticed is that the grass is basically the same color on the other side, albeit with sort of a greater level of freedom and autonomy. Essentially, I've got the freedom to go wherever I want and set up camp, provided that I'm willing to continue to work. I mean, it's like making the videos is still work. You know, there's no getting around that unless you're like totally independently wealthy, in which case you probably have no interest in trying this anyway. I think this channel for me is all about kind of the search for truth through riding motorcycles and spending time outdoors. And so it behooves me to document what I see. Close enough. When people ask me how I pack my bike, I always tell them to shake the load and make double sure everything feels secure. For a more detailed explanation of how I do it, please stay tuned till the end of the video for a bonus segment on motorcycle packing. From camp, I headed back up the mountain toward Buena Vista, then rode around on the Blue Ridge Parkway for a bit. As it just so happens, this particular stretch of the parkway is one of the most scenic stretches of road in all of Southwest Virginia. All right, lunchtime. It's been sporadically on and off raining today. Seeing some blue sky up there, so that's good. Made it back into town and picked up a rotisserie chicken, which is kind of the go-to meal of the Vagabond. You know, for less than 10 bucks, you can eat pretty healthy. I've eaten rotisserie chickens just about every way you can think of, and one of my favorites is with a little bit of lime juice and some hot sauce. So this is going to be a little bit of Joe's hot sauce review. This is one you see pretty much everywhere. This is a Louisiana brand hot sauce. The Louisiana style is sort of a vinegar based and with red cayenne peppers. But one of the things that stood out, aside from the super low price tag, I think it was like $1.69 for the bottle, was the ingredients, which are simply aged peppers, distilled vinegar, and salt. So no xanthan gum, no other kind of weird preservatives or anything like that. I mean, that's all you need for a good Louisiana style hot sauce, and don't let anybody else tell you different. And it's super authentic too, because it's made in New Iberia. The pungent vinegar of this Louisiana style hot sauce just hits you right away. It's a little thin because they didn't add xanthan gum, which is kind of a thickener. But let's give it a try. Oh, good. Tangy, a little bit more heat than a Tabasco. I think it's absolutely great. And that lime juice makes all the difference in the world of making these palatable. And just douse the hell out of it. I don't really feel like cooking anything later today. This is easy to carry around. Some of my Louisiana. Cheers. Some of that hot sauce started going down the wrong bite. That's good. From Buena Vista, I rode south for about an hour, then took a left on a tiny country road leading back into the mountains. All right, we in the boonies now. This place has got a wild feel to it. Unlike that campground I stayed at last night, this by contrast is a lot more remote and probably less likely to run into any obnoxious tweakers. I'm hiking up this road right now to see if I can find any good spots out here. Haven't really seen anything thus far. I did pass a campground, which is like 10 bucks a night. If I can't find anything good off of this road, I might just stay there. And guess what's for dinner? Surprise, it's rotisserie chicken, leftover, and Louisiana hot sauce, which I'm excited about. The chicken, not so much. Some of them get it right and just have an awesome mixture of spices on there. Others, in this case, are like totally bland. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of this out into that and kind of use that as a dipping agent. About the time I was finishing up that rotisserie chicken, a heavy spring rain came pouring down. Alrighty, got that tarp set up just in the nick of time, as well as my cover, so I was hoping I wasn't going to have to use it, but this thunderstorm wasn't really on the forecast, but here it is. Absolutely froze my nuts off this morning. I'm all bundled up. This is just about the limit of the gear that I carry as far as temperature wise. I'd say it's about 20 degrees cooler up here than it is in the nearest town, which is down the mountain. Anyway, it looks like it's going to be a nice day from what I can see. So I'm going to walk around a little bit, try to get warmed up. You know, obviously you want to dry everything out if you can, but sometimes it just ain't happening. Fortunately today I've got a little bit of sun peeking through, and I've got the time. I can just kind of sit here for about 30 minutes and let everything dry out. If I weren't able to do this at this point, I would just pack everything up wet because there's really no choice in the matter, and then wait until hopefully I got a ray of sunshine, or else just let it ride until I get to the next place. But that's assuming that I'm going to be camping somewhere else that night. I'm going to take everything out whenever I get to where I'm going and air it out. You'd never want to store camping gear wet like this because it'll cause the material to rot and possibly develop mold. So it's definitely worth taking the time to get it as dry as possible. All right, well, I think that's about it for now. The shoulder's definitely feeling a lot better today, so hopefully here soon, hitting the road and making the very slow journey to Sturgis. So stay tuned for that, and yeah, I guess I'm going to get back on this beautiful motorcycle and do some riding. See you later. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. And as usual, I've included an optional donate link in the drop box below for anyone who might like to contribute to this project. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the road. Somebody recently was asking how to actually pack the bike. You know, having packed and unpacked the bike probably thousands of times at this point, I don't really think about it that much, but actually very important. One of the challenges with this particular bike is being able to access the gas, because the gas tank is actually under the seat, and you access it by popping up that passenger seat. Obviously, that's a little difficult to do if you have a bunch of luggage on the back, but sort of what I rigged up for this is I got a couple of rock straps going on either side on the front, and then I got one rock strap on the back, so I can simply roll it forward, boom, and I can access the gas that way. Basically, for the rest of this, I got my cot and my tent that straps directly onto this bag. And one thing I'll mention, extremely important to make sure everything's secure. And then after you got it strapped down, go and wiggle it. Make sure it ain't going anywhere. Because I've seen people take off with loose loads and they're losing stuff. I mean, my first trip to Sturgis, coming into Rapid City, lost my entire load off the front of the bike. You know, thank God nothing got wrapped around the wheel or anything like that. There's a YouTuber called Moto Giant who famously had a really horrific accident a couple years ago. I actually met Don in Montana last year, camping out, and the way that he explained it was he had a bungee net, I think on the back of his bike or on the saddlebags, and had a bag of trash, put the bag of trash in there, and didn't realize that some stuff was loose because of the difference in the way that it was packed. Sleeping bag got caught in the wheel. He went down and ground most of the toes off of one foot, and then they had to amputate his leg about halfway up the shin. You know, and when he was telling me that story, it's like, I've done that exact same thing. I can't tell you how many times with a bag of trash, throwing it in there. Like if you throw a bag of trash on there and then all of a sudden this is loose, then you got to worry about that popping out of the bike. So, you know, I told Don, we all sort of learned a lesson after that. So up here, like I said, I got a bungee net. I got my, I don't like to load this up with too much weight on the top of that because it's just a lot of weight really up high, but I've got my tarps right there. I got my chair and I got my motorcycle cover. The bungee net is the greatest thing in the world because you can shove stuff under there like gloves and bags of trash. But you know, you just want to always make sure everything's as tight as could be.